Girl, what are you doing? Why are you not living up to your potential? I know you got some dreams. I know you have some things that you've been wanting to do, but you're letting fear and you're letting the opinions of other people stop you from pursuing it. Why? When I tell you I had so much fear surrounding starting this YouTube channel, first of all, what am I going to talk about? I spent months, probably close to years, trying to figure out what I'm going to talk about on YouTube. There's so many people that's doing this and so many people are doing that. And I just really couldn't figure out what my lane was. It wasn't until I actually started just sharing videos that it became clear to me what my lane was. And I think that we get so caught up in being perfect before we start that we don't start at all. Because guess what? It's never going to be perfect. I am still figuring this whole YouTube thing out. I'm still figuring out if this is the right setup. Am I talking the right way? Am I talking too long? Am I talking too like this is all a mystery, but I'm still doing it because I want to, because I've wanted to. And I didn't want to go into another year being like, dang, what if I had started last year? That wasn't gonna be my story again. It had been my story for 2 years in a row, and I wasn't gonna let it be my story again. I'm getting choked up right now because I'm really just I really believe that we were all given a dream for a reason. If it's there inside of you, it is there for you to execute. And I think sometimes we get caught up in what other people are doing. Oh, there's other channels with women talking about style over 40 or other women giving motivation to women over 40. But guess what? They are not you. Yes, there are probably thousands of other pages out there of Black women over 40 talking about style, talking about inspiration, talking about being a mom or an entrepreneur or whatever else, but they're not me. They don't have my lived experiences. They don't have my personality. They don't have my style, my sense of style. They don't have any of it. It's still going to be from my own perspective. I have a very specific prescription so that I can see. And I think that lens through which I see life is what gives me the edge. And I think that is the exact same thing for you. You just have to believe it and trust in that. So I want to help. I feel like there are about 5 main reasons that people don't pursue their dreams, and we're gonna talk through them a little bit, talk about what that reason is, and then how we can overcome that reason in order to jumpstart our dreams and live the life that we wanna live. So, obviously, I think a lot of us are just fearful of failure, which shoot, I am too. I don't wanna fail. But when you think about failure in a different way, right? Let's start to reframe how we think about failure. Is failure just, dang, I didn't do it and I'm never gonna do it again? Or is it, hmm, I didn't win this time, but what did I do this time that I could have done better? What did that person that won do differently that I can learn from and do differently next time so that I can win. So we want to think about reframing our fear of failure into a learning opportunity. It's like getting feedback on your performance so that you can do better next time. If you view it as a lesson or a redirection as opposed to a complete failure, never going to happen again, then it really changes the perspective and it changes how you view that failure. I like to call them perceived failures because maybe someone else can view it as a failure, but I try not to view those things as failures. I mean, this is my third time trying YouTube. The first 2 times did not go very well, and I got bored with it and I just let it go because I wasn't necessarily enjoying what I was doing. I was kinda doing it because that's what I thought I was supposed to do, but I learned from that. I learned what didn't work, I learned what I didn't like, and now I know what I do like, and here I am doing something completely different than what I did before. And you can go back and see those old videos too. But Let's stay here. Stay here and finish this one, and you can go back and look at the old ones. You also wanna think about shifting your perspective from, "Man, failure is gonna be the worst thing ever. I don't want anybody to see me do poorly," et cetera, to, "What's the worst that can happen? I learned something. I get some valuable feedback on how to do something differently or how to do things properly, and it just makes you better as you go." So think about shifting how you think about failure so that it becomes more of a lesson, it becomes more of feedback than it is just a failure, not going to do it, done, over type of situation. I think the second thing that people really struggle with is a lack of confidence. And listen, I did not think people would want to hear me talk. Okay. Like, I didn't think that I would have enough to say, enough interesting things to say in a video. And that is really what held me back for so long from doing this type of YouTube content. Because who wants to hear me yapping for 15 minutes? Even after I made my first video, I was like, I don't know if I want to share this because I'm just talking and it's long. And do people even want to hear this? So, but I did it anyway. And it was well received. I mean, it was probably my first video in like 4 years. So probably didn't get a whole lot of views, but I felt good after sharing it. And then it helps me get better for the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one and so on. But also taking action, even if you have the doubt, like, the confidence will grow through that action. So, regardless of how you feel while you're doing it, even if you're just practicing, like, if you just do a video, let's say you wanna do YouTube, and you just do a video and you practice and you don't upload it anywhere, watching that video back is gonna give you some ideas on, "Oh, okay, so maybe I need to sit up straighter. Maybe I need to be sitting." I learned that I prefer sitting at a table because it makes me feel more comfortable. My first couple of videos, I was sitting on my couch and yeah, I was comfortable and I was able to talk, but something about this, having this table here makes me feel more confident. And I think once you start and once you start pushing yourself to do something new each time, that confidence is going to grow and grow and grow. And in no time, it's not going to feel like a chore anymore. It's going to feel like something you actually enjoy doing. And I think it's really important to have people around you that support you, that encourage you, even if they're not doing the same things that you do, even if they have no idea about how to do what you do. Just people that love you and wanna support and celebrate you in whatever it is you're doing, that is so important to have. My husband, my best friend, I just have some really great people around me who, um, love me and support me in the same way that I do them. So, their encouragement is always gonna help boost my confidence and help make me feel better about whatever it is I'm doing. And you also want to, and this is something I struggle with too, you also wanna celebrate the small wins. So, with this YouTube channel, I am growing fairly quickly from what I thought I would grow. I was hoping to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the quarter. So, by the end of March, I was hoping to get 1,000 subscribers, and I'm already at, like, 1,300 at this point. So, like, within 3 weeks, it happened, and I celebrate every single time. I'm just so excited about it. I never get down, "Oh, only 5 subscribers." What? No. 5 subscribers? Like, this is so exciting to me, and I feel like if I celebrate all of these wins, every little thing that I do is gonna make me feel more confident. It's gonna make me feel like I can keep doing this over and over and over again and keep growing and keep sharing because I really want my message of inspiration and joy to reach so many more of you. And the more you celebrate yourself, the more you have people around you that celebrate you, it's only going to do better in boosting your self confidence and boosting your self esteem and making you feel like, you know what, I can do this. I can win at this. So make sure you just keep good people around you and celebrate your wins. It's really, really important. Okay. Number 3, which I get, is limited resources. So time, money, knowledge, and I get it, because for a long time, I told myself that I need to have the fancy camera, which Oddly enough, we do actually have nice fancy cameras, and then my excuse for that was, "Oh, it's just so difficult and it's so much hassle to use those cameras because it takes up so much like, I made every excuse possible. And you know what I'm using right now? What I'm filming on right now? My iPhone 13 Pro, the front camera. And you know how many people tell you, "Don't use the front camera, it's terrible, it's not gonna look as good," but I don't feel comfortable using the back camera. So I like to use the front camera on my phone, iPhone 13 Pro, and that is what I'm filming all my videos on, and looks perfectly fine. I use a cinematic mode and got my little blurred background, and I think it looks great. Excuses are easy to make. I know, because I made a lot of this. Maybe you'll decide once you get started that there's some other bigger resource that you can use to, make your dream come true. But if you just sit and wait until you get that resource, you may never start at all. And then you're just stuck in the same place of just wishing and dreaming that this one thing will come true, but you got to move. You have to move in order to get things to move with you. Like, imagine yourself in your car, you got your GPS on, and you're trying to get someplace you've never been before. Got the directions? No, the GPS is going to tell you exactly where to go. But guess what? You don't turn your car on and you don't put the car in drive. So the GPS cannot tell you where to go because it only moves when you move. A lot of times we pray or we dream or we try to manifest, we write things down, but we don't make any movements towards that goal. It's so important for us to move with the goal because that's the only way that we're going to get the help, that we're going to get the guidance that we need. Even if you go the wrong way, think about a GPS. If you go the wrong way, right? You're in your car and you don't make the turn that you're supposed to make, a GPS will tell you to make a legal U turn. GPS will tell you to make the next legal right so you can get back on the right path that you're supposed to be on. But you've got to move. Okay. And also another thing for me when it comes to like having the time, it's something I still struggle with to this day because I am a mom of two. I am a wife. I do own a business. I do content creation for a business as well. So that's two businesses. And it's like having 4 full-time jobs, and I do not have the time to do it all. I also have to take care of myself. I also have to work out, I have to eat well, I have to shop, I have to do all these things, and it can get overwhelming. But what I'm learning now, because 'cause I'm still learning it, is I need to schedule myself out properly. So what does that look like for you? Does that look like if you want to start working out, if you want to start working on your business, can you wake up an hour earlier? Can you go to bed a little bit earlier so that you can wake up? Give yourself some time. Spend less time scrolling. Maybe you can do that. Spend an hour of your time working on this thing that you've been dreaming about, whatever you have to help you feel like you are moving towards the goal. If you think about it in small steps, what little small step can I take today? What small step can I take tomorrow? Because a lot of times we can get so overwhelmed by the big picture of something that we forget that a big picture has lots of very small scenes. And we can take it scene by scene by scene. They may not always go in order, they may not always be done in order, but I think once we take things in small chunks, it's going to be easy for us to digest what comes next or how do I get to the next step as opposed to how do I get to this big goal when you're just getting to the next step each time. So think about your time and your resources in that way. My time is just a 30-minute increment to get this one little thing done, to plan this one little thing out, to film this one video. So think about your time and resources in that way. This is a biggie. I know that people really fear judgment, whether it's from your family, your friends, social media followers, random people on the internet. That can be like a huge block in what stops people from going after their dreams. And I get it. Putting yourself out there on social media is not easy. When you think about the fear of judgment, I want you to focus on your why and the reason you are doing what you want to do. For me, I didn't know any of this was possible. I didn't know that I could live a life where I didn't have to worry about what my boss is going to say if I want to take time off to go to my kid's school for an event. I didn't know that I could live a life where I had the freedom to make these types of decisions. And maybe there are other women out there that don't know that either, or don't know how to get there, or don't believe that there is a path for them to get there. So, my why is to share my life in a way that shows, yes, you can do this. I'm just a regular girl from the south side of Chicago who dared to do something she loved and dared to move to a new city. I'm getting emotional. Um, and I think when you let your purpose and your passion outweigh other people's opinions, it's gonna change the game for you. I truly believe that your why is gonna be the most important thing. Oh my gosh, I'm getting emotional. It's gonna be the most important thing to help you push through that fear of judgment. And I think really when we start to embrace imperfection, we start to realize that people respect that and they um, appreciate you being authentically you. I cry. That's just a part of me. And I used to be ashamed of that because I would get, you know, kind of ridiculed a little bit because I'm emotional. Um, but it's a part of who I am and I've accepted that. And you're getting a full view of me and my emotional self. Okay. And I'm okay with that. I am okay with that now. I think um, that just shows my authenticity and people respect that over a completely perfect image because who can relate to somebody that's completely perfect? Because none of us are. Um, I'm talking a long time, but I'm gonna keep going because I feel like this is really good. So, the fifth thing that I think people really, get hung up on is, like, a lack of clarity, which is what I got hung up on for 1 to 2 years with this YouTube about what am I gonna talk about? I don't wanna do fashion hauls. I don't wanna do best and worst fashion purchases and luxury this. I'm like, that's just not my lane at all, and a lot of the people that I was around, those are the kind of videos they made, and I thought I had to do that too, so for a long time, I just didn't do anything. I just sat on my hands and did nothing and just kinda kept my, um, social interactions and my social use to Instagram and TikTok because I just didn't think I had a place on YouTube. But then I realized that clarity comes from doing and not waiting. And I didn't realize that until just 3 weeks ago when I made my first video that, like, once you do and you get feedback, then it's like, "Oh, this is good," or "This is the way I need to shift." And instead of waiting for the exact right moment with the exact right information, with the exact right resources, start where you are because that is what's going to help you get better, and that is what's gonna push you to find the exact clarity that you need. And this kind of goes back to the whole idea of authenticity because, you start messy. Start imperfect. And that is what is gonna, again, help you to reach the goals that you wanna reach and help you to, figure out what works, what doesn't work so that you can know going forward, do something differently. Another thing you can do if you feel like you don't have a clarity and you don't wanna do too much of this, so just be forewarned, is to seek guidance. So you wanna find mentors or coaches, online communities that can help provide a little bit of direction. The problem with that though is sometimes that's all we do is we look only for the direction. We look and keep watching it. And then we see somebody else say something completely different. And it's like, oh, well, maybe I should do it this way. And then you look for some other direction and then you see somebody else and it's completely different and then you get lost. So seek guidance, but be very, very mindful of how much guidance you're seeking because you don't want to pull in too much information to where then you're overwhelmed with information and that's another reason that you don't start or you don't do something. I mean, pursuing dreams, it really requires patience and perseverance, and confidence. And like I said, confidence doesn't happen overnight. Confidence, and it's okay. Confidence doesn't happen on your first video. It may, but it might not. And that's totally fine. You want to start as you because if you start as a perfect version of yourself, it may get overwhelming to keep that up all the time. It's having that self-belief and having that willingness to embrace uncertainty that is going to help to, like, push you into where that dream starts to come alive. With the right mindset and the right strategies, I really think that anybody can live the life of their dreams. You just have to be bold enough, be confident enough, and delusional enough to go after it and believe it can happen for you. I hope this was helpful. Again, my name is Michaela Babone. Please subscribe if you thought this was helpful, share, and like this video. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.